this is must have, must need, right? It's a need to have. So now what happens is when we go to smaller towns, they are actually already looking for someone who can provide them that technology to get their customers also a mobile app.
Okay.
You won't believe a lot of cooperative banks gave the same local supplier 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs to build an app. And problem is local suppliers also didn't deliver. Right? Our thing is we have made a SaaS model, completely digitized model. Our sales team actually goes to a bank saying, here's your app, already built, test it, right? So what happens is for him, completely the life changes. Okay, the app is already there. How do you get it? So that becomes a very easy proposition for him because he's already looking for a solution. It's not like he's not looking for a solution. So he's already looking for a solution, but he's looking for a person who can deliver it to him.
But is it that easy? Do you feel other hurdles in those conversations? Do you still need to convince them as a new player?
See, obviously, you need to convince them, but
because money and food are very personal things, right?
Yeah, but for a banker, it's a business, right?
Right.
So for him, what are the key barriers? Well, we always start with that. For him, in a buying journey, what are the key barriers which he has to cross before he buys, right? One is, does he have a need? Right? Or is it like I have to create a need?
Right.
So, whatever we have seen.
This is also a jobs theory, like there is a job to be done.
Yes, right. So, he definitely has a need because one, his customer is asking for it. Secondly, the regulator is now telling him to upgrade his technology. Thirdly, it started impacting his business, right? Deposits and all of that. So, first, there is a need, clear need. Second, the hurdle which he has is whether the technical provider whom I have, can I trust him? Right? Because it's a financial transaction. So what we said is, take this, give it to your 5 staff members, okay, and test it. And we give them a certain period free. Right? Okay. And then the third point is, so once he does that free period, he sees, reconciliations are automated, money is coming, the app is working fine, functionality wise it is great. Plus the staff also gets used to using the app, right? The third is pricing, how much I have to pay. That also we kept it very, very low. And the fourth is adoption, whether my customer will adopt it or not. So we have seen all the hurdles. We have crossed all the hurdles. Today, we have 200 plus apps working simultaneously with banks, with lakhs of customers using the app, right? And banks have collected more than 500 crores. So what that has clearly shown them, the CASA has grown by 500 crores for them. What does that mean? That once the CASA grows by 500 crores, that's the lowest cost deposit. The cost of funds have come down.
Yes.
So all of them have seen zoom in their profitability, right? So we have solved the liability side of their balance sheet through digitization. Once this is solved, it's very easy. I mean, it's like providing them extra raw material for making money, right? Because once they have more deposit, they can lend more. They can lend more, they can make more profit.
Yeah. Assets are better, return on asset is better.
Right. Plus his customers have more engaging now because his customers can do what a private bank customer can do. So their engagement has become better, service have become better. Customers who had gone to fintechs have come back to them, right? Like you said, right? If your village, that why did you move maybe from a cooperative bank to a private bank is for the reason that, boss, I can do everything at home. I don't have to go to the branch. Now, if a cooperative bank only is providing you that service, I'm very sure you will go back to him because you will still have an account which has been there for ages. He would have given loans to your dad or to your grandfather at certain point in times, and all of that kind of nostalgia feeling is always there.
So I think we still have the account, but I think that bank is now part of PNB.
Okay.
So because some of the RRBs are now aligned with PSUs and they use the same tech.
Yeah. So what basically each cooperative bank is linked as a sponsor bank, we call it a
Right.
sponsor bank. So
Right.
yeah. So but that's what I'm telling you, right? So just going back to your question. So one is that we made sure that all the four hurdles we cross. Otherwise, there's no way we can 1.5 year cross 200 banks and across north and west. You know the
Right.
length and breadth, right? Today I have account banks in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, all the way till Mizoram, right? So that's, and with 6-7 salespeople sitting majorly in Gurgaon, we've closed all these banks.
So all these deals are closed, like just calling them, speaking to them, or do you actually have to physically travel?
So we typically prefer to travel once the bank is live,
Okay.
right? For us, typically what happens also is once you make one bank live in a district, other banks actually just see, you know, the impact that bank has, because their customers start getting QR and all of that. Their customers are like, that cooperative bank is also giving now. So we start getting inward calls also. So that's typically how it works. But point, Kulmani, is that the need is there. And what we have made sure that we don't do bank by bank dealing. Standard pricing, standard model, standard sales, and good customer service. No downtimes. If there is a query, gets solved within 24 hours. All those kind of basic stuff which we have ensured that without any, the banks have, for us, there are banks who have collected 50 crores and had not deployed even a single additional resource, right? Just activated their customers. We have, the reconciliation is automated, the money comes automatic, the credit happens automatic in the customer account on a real-time basis. So all of that is there. So if you have that kind of a thing where without any operational cost you are getting the new CASA, I mean, why not?
So the front end of the app looks same for all the banks, or do you change something?
No. So it changes. So basically the way it works is it is a bank's app. So
Okay.
bank color, logo,
Got it.
all of that is banks. The numbers, etc., obviously are connected with banks. So that's banks. So each bank app is different for the bank. And similarly, each soundbox, each QR is for the bank. So if it is a Bharat Bank, it will have a logo of Bharat Bank and the name of Bharat Bank in whichever form factor which he has as his brand identity.
I will say like powered by one stack or something like
So
that.
typically we don't.
Okay.
We don't. We are not B2C, as I said. The only places where we put our name is where it is required by regulation.
Right. So in your business, as I'm understanding more, this process and foundations of the business also become very important.
Absolutely.
Right. So how much thought or what have you done, right, to set the processes, because you can't have any downtime. There are all these incoming queries which you need to address promptly. In case they're an existing bank which you have onboarded, they have some question, you need to answer immediately because now the customers are dependent on the app, right? So how much thought have you guys given to setting up these processes in-house?
No, so even more than that, it's a regulated environment, right?
Yes.
These banks are regulated.
Yes.
So the first thing which we did is we actually went through all the regulations, all the circulars, and we said, okay, for providing this service, these are all the certifications which we need to do. So we went ahead and did all the certifications. So today my environment is PCI DSS certified. We are ISO. All the certifications related to ISO are there. We are RBI source audit review certified, and all the other certifications which are required. So there are about 18 odd certifications which are required, and we are completely certified on that. And as you're aware, if you have to get certified on that, you also have to build processes to get certified, right?
Correct.
Also build the tech around it to get certified. Also have the data center, DC, DR, all of those kind of infrastructure to get certified. So we did all of that. So today, basically, if you go to all RBI circulars, by checklist, we have got certifications across. We have got a complete risk module in place. We have got the complete compliance module in place in terms of not only checking early warning signals, but also reporting, also informing the bank, informing the customer, and informing the regulator. Right? So we have done all of that to ensure that we are always on the right side of the regulation.
Got it.
And that has also brought in the processes, the rigor, the security, the compliance, all of those angles. Because we had to get certified, we had to ensure that our tech is completely certified and has all those processes built into place.
Right.
So, for example, the biggest risk, I mean, the simple question, first question you will always get asked is, what will happen to my data? Right? Because if the customer downloads the app, he will do the KYC also. You will have the transaction data also, all of that. I am already DPDP compliant. Right? None of my employees, including me or Amit, has access to data. It's completely encrypted. The encryption is as per RBI mandates. When the communication happens, it is encrypted. It is in a certain language. All of that is completely built in to ensure that we are completely secure. So because even a single transaction going through, which is not right, is a big risk.
I think that's very important lesson for anybody building in the license business.
Yeah, right? Regulated business.
Regulated license business.
So I am not licensed, but the bank is. So that your customer is regulated, you have to ensure, because one incident can just, I mean, for a bank, it might be one incident, he'll maybe get a penalty. For me, the whole business will go for a toss.
Right. Because then the whole trust and reputation that takes in it. So that's important. Talk about competition. Like, do you have competition? Are there other players who have attempted or who are building similar things? So, is this a competitive space right now? Or no?
I mean, funnily, we get this question a lot. And funnily, we always say that we always get this thing that nobody has been able to crack this market, right? So we say, okay, so on one hand, you're saying, is there a competition? Other hand, you're saying nobody is able to crack this market. So obviously, we don't have competition. But okay, no. So there's been a lot of good players also who are actually working in this segment. But typically the way people have approached this segment is like a old software hat, which is what I will build a software for you. So you tell me your requirement and I will build a software, right? Which I will give it to you and then you use it and I will maintain it, right? Old thinking, right? Before Zoho and Freshworks, like every enterprise will go to a local player, build an invoicing solution.
Yes.
Build an HR solution, because we will say, I am different. I need my customized version of HR solution, my customized version of invoice solution, my customized version of accounting, so on and so forth. And then the Zoho and Freshworks came. There's a standard. Everyone needs these things in an HR solution.
Yeah.
I built all the features. Now there is a button, you can switch off, switch on whatever you need and start using it and pay me per use, right? That's basically the way we are thinking about this market. So there are a lot of people who are providing CBS. There are a lot of people who are providing, ATM switches, brown label ATM and all of that. But typically they think in this manner. I will go to a bank. Bank will tell me this is their need. I will customize the solution for him. And that's why I will charge an implementation fee. I will charge an AMC. I will charge then any development I will charge from the bank. Right? What we are saying, you are 2,000 cooperative banks and maybe 10,000 NBFCs. You typically have these needs in a CBS. I build everything. Now you decide, switch on, switch off. Maybe so 80% anyways you will need. For 20% you can decide, maybe my loan is not tractor. I don't give tractor loan. I only give farm loan. So you can decide on that product, deposit or whatever, right? So this is how we are approaching it. So, customization is there, but to a certain extent, but within the product. So start using it and pay me as you use it. No implementation cost, no AMC, nothing. And second differentiation we are trying to bring in is typically the software providers has been into one product. So a CBS provider is only providing CBS. A switch provider is only providing switch. We are saying we will provide you the complete stack. So you take my CBS, which is the back end, you take my mobile app, which is the front end. I will give you the switch to NPCI also, and I will give you all the other services which you need, debit card services or whatever, right? So for a bank, he doesn't have to think, I am his technology department. He doesn't need a technology department. You focus on banking, I will take care of your tech needs. But at a SaaS model, that too. No ROI needed because there is no implementation upfront fees which you are paying. You only paying me per use. So as you are using my services, you are paying me that. So it becomes from a capex to an opex, that too with a clear ROI, what I am delivering to you. So that's how we are differentiating ourselves. And I think that's why we think there's a big change which we can brought in.
Right. And that conversation, is it easy to have when you say that there is no upfront cost, these are all the benefits?
As I say, we don't have that conversation.
Okay.
We say, take it, use it for some time, free of cost, see the benefit, and then I will stop it if you want me to stop it without any charge.
Got it. And do you think in future some of your services will also be relevant to, let's say, legacy PSUs, etc.? Because some of them are still using.
So as I said, right, it's a very good question. So we keep thinking about this. See, if you look at the pyramid, right, obviously on the top is commercial banks and foreign banks.
Yeah.
But then there is mid-size, small-size PSU banks. Then there are 10,000 NBFCs also.
Correct.
Right. So what we are basically saying, ultimately we are building a stack, but you typically, if you go to the SBI, it's directly that I can build a core banking software for you. You'll say, who are you? Have you built it for a Dena Bank or a UCO Bank, right?
Yes.
If you go to a UCO Bank, he will say, boss, have you done it for someone else? So that's why this is one market which we have identified. We first want to crack it, make sure that we are the largest players.
Right.
But the services remain the same, right? The stack remains the same. The same CBS today is required by NBFCs because RBI has given a mandate that by 2025 September, you have to have a CBS. They currently typically only have LOS, LMS. They don't have a CBS. So once that market also opens up, right? Because the CBS is the same. It's just that if you're not taking deposit, you don't need the deposit side. But you need everything else. You need customer management. You need transaction management. You need account management. You need reporting. You need compliance. All of that is same, right? You need app. Different. You just need a asset side app. You may not need the lending side app.
Right.
But the whole thing remains the same. So our focus remains first on cooperative banks. But if you look at as a banking segment, as I said, right, even not only NBFCs, even PSUs and private sector banks, somewhere they will have to modernize in coming age. And if we are ready, we have already live and we have already taken up good market in cooperatives.
Makes sense.
Then you can always move up.
Right. Now switching to just thinking about, because a lot of your end users are in tier 2 and beyond and in rural.
I just want to correct that actually. Because this is a perception we always have that cooperative banks are in rural and all of that, right?
Correct.
250, so 15% of cooperative banks are in metros and tier 1 cities.
Right.
Gurgaon has cooperative banks, Bangalore has cooperative banks, Bombay has cooperative banks,
yes,
Madras has cooperative banks. Now, so what are they doing here? By the way, there is a huge amount of blue collar population which is there. There is huge amount of small and medium sized businesses which are there in this part of the world as well, right? Where do they bank? They don't go to a Yes Bank. Yes Bank doesn't entertain, or SBI or whomsoever, right? They go to a cooperative bank. Now like for example, right, a lot of people when they talk to us and after that they start seeing cooperative banks. Because before that it's not there, it doesn't get registered. Yeah, okay, I have a cooperative bank just next to my block, right? So we talk to a lot of people and then they come back and say, I saw that after 2 kilometers there were cooperative banks which are there in Bangalore also, or Bombay also, or Gurgaon, for example, right? So there cooperative banks who are in metro and tier 1 as well. And we have customers who are in metro and tier 1 as well. But they are providing services to a mid-scale, small-scale businesses, rich farmers,
Yeah.
landlords. They are providing services to, like, for example, I give you a Gurgaon example, right? It has a cooperative bank, which a single branch does 500 crores.
Wow.
All the farmers bank there, landlord owners bank there, and they are always full. I mean, if you go to their branch, it's always full during working time. So it's not like cooperative banks are just there in tier 2, tier 3 rural. They are very much there present in metros. You just have to start looking.
Right. And that's a paradox of Indian cities also, right? We have rural in middle of urban, right?
Yeah.
So if you talk about any locality in Delhi, right? For example, you have Vasant Vihar, then you also have Vasant Gaon, and you have Vasant Kunj, then you have some village next to it.
No, more than that, right? Our cities also grew, right? But as I said, right, the first cooperative bank was established in Madras, right? So it's not like it's a phenomena which started from rural. It went also from metros to rural, wherever the agriculture economy was, wherever the credit needs were there at that point in time.
Right. But if we leave out the urban part, how do you see from the user perspective in terms of technology adoption? What do you think is different? Obviously, like you clarified in the beginning, you are not actually serving the bank, you are serving the end consumer, right? He is using the app or she is using the app, right? So do you see any difference in technology adoption?
So, what has happened with as I said, right, in the starting, the smartphones have reached to the end user. Right now, we have 1 billion smartphone users. They are using the same Amazon like you and me. They are using the YouTube like you and me. They are using the entertainment, e-commerce, and social media. If you look at the numbers also between the two, it's the same, the penetration wise and the usage. In fact, YouTube usage and WhatsApp usage today is more in tier 2, tier 3 and rural than actually in urban also. So from that aspect, they are very similar. So they understand how to use technology, how to get benefit out of technology, and how to use the mobile phone. I mean, India actually leapfrogged straight away from paper to mobile phone. I mean, the online banking never kind of came in between, right? They have only seen mobile phone as a technology usage instrument. A lot of them have not seen a computer, they've seen mobile phone. So our adoption that ways is very quick. The thing which is different is that they don't still trust technology for financial transaction unless there is a person in between. Right? So when a bank says, this is my app, you can now do financial transactions on this. So he knows if there is something wrong which happens on this app, I can go to this person and ask for help. So the adoption is much faster in that way, when there is a trusted person for financial transaction, then let's say when there is no person, right? In the hindsight, he will use Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, but a lot of them also had to put in field on street,
right,
to get that penetration even in tier 1 and tier 2.
Yeah.
Right. So
for merchant
onboarding, etc. Right? Yeah. Because merchants didn't otherwise trust whether I will get my money or not. Right? It will go away. I mean, the whole Paytm fiasco when happened, I think I don't remember the exact number. The majority of merchants from tier 2, tier 3 actually just went off Paytm because they suddenly thought that it's gone down and I will not get my money back. So that's that trust factor which is very, very important. So for us, what our learning has been that you have to make sure the bank staff is trained to the extent possible that he can explain the app as well as the transactions to the customer.
So you train them?
So we train the bank staff. and the bank staff trains the customer.
So the training is virtual?
It is virtual. Typically, it is virtual.
Okay.
But also, when the bank goes live, we also go to the bank and make sure all the branch managers
Okay.
are there and get it done. But that is one of the factors which we have seen. The second thing which we have seen with these customers and the bank staff is that it takes a bit of time for them to actually start trusting and getting into it, right? It's a 6 to 8 month cycle.
Okay.
So they will first start with their top merchants. He will also start with 10% of his transactions on that. Then he will say, okay, yeah, this is working fine. But once they trust and once they have seen, then it's a hockey curve, right? For us. The third thing which helps us is a regulatory tailwind. So cooperatives that ways have now got a ministry after 75 years. There's a ministry of cooperatives, which is led by none other than Mr. Hamid Shah.
Yeah.
Because he's been the big movement in Gujarat cooperatives. States. He was I think, held some positions also in state cooperative and all of that. So he understands the system very, very well. So he formed a separate ministry for cooperatives, and whose only agenda is to digitize this whole sector, bring more transparency, and solve all the issues regarding it. So, for example, Gujarat cooperative segment is so vibrant. Last year, they opened about 8 lakh new accounts, right? So, it's not like in our perception, we think the accounts are going down and all of that. They are opening new accounts. Bihar State Cooperative just 3 days back announced a 190 crore contract to digitize itself, right? It's not a small amount. So, a lot of this is happening in terms of that. Ministry is pushing them to adopt digital means, to bring in technology. They are in fact collected all the data of cooperative societies. So they have data of 8 lakh plus cooperative societies, which they have given on their website.
Correct.
You can go and check that out. So they are trying to digitize, and now they're trying to digitize the members of cooperatives also. So that what happens is, when it goes any DBT or the loans go, they have a complete visibility. Not only the farmer also has the complete visibility, the state cooperative also has it, district cooperative also has it, PAX also has it.
Sounds exciting.